What up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mud. Today we're gonna get on to part 2 of our Hounds Legionnaire here. So today we paint on the shades. As you can see, we do a little bit of detail work, building up the golds, making them look a little bit more brassy. And yeah, we get to this nice second phase for our Hounds Legionnaire. So the colors you're going to need are Drakenhof, Nightshade, Nuln Oil, the Fang, Doombull Brown, Chaos or Abaddon Black, and Brass Scorpion. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please leave me some comments and likes and all that good stuff below. Let me know what you think. Oh, also, oops, forgot about the skull, Rackard the Flesh. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you in the next one. Oops, one more. Caplite Green. Those are all the colors, right? Right. Alright guys, so we're gonna get started with our part 2 of how to paint a Hounds Legionnaire. The Hounds are, of course, the beginnings of the World Eaters chapter. It's what they were called before Angron rejoined them. So I'm going to start with some lead belcher. We're going to paint up all the silver areas now. Let's start with his bolt pistol here. I love these old Mark bolt pistols and bolt guns. They look really I guess chunky and more in line with what the older technology, like those aesthetics of in the Warhammer world, was the older technology from Terra. Really cool. And what I'm doing is I'm just painting it all silver right now, and then I'm going to pick out any black or brass details later. You'll notice that I painted the right half of this Legionnaire's body because I wanted to get a good sense of what I was going to do in the next, I guess, this part of the video. And also because I wanted to shave off some of the time. I didn't think you needed to see me doing the whole model as long as you get the basic techniques. So I might do that from now on, just paint one half of a model off camera, make sure I have all my colors correct, and then paint the whole thing, or the rest of it, to match. So I'm still going to show you the techniques, I'm still going to show you everything, just not as real time. You could also cut down on the time it takes to film and record these, which is going to be a big help for me. So the Warhounds, if you read the Lexicanum or the Warhammer 40k wiki, or you read the Forge World book, Betrayal, I just love their fluff and how they view themselves and the other legions. They know that they are like the final solution to the Emperor when he has no time to really pacify or get a society onto his side, and all he has to do, all he really can do, is just go in and wipe the slate clean. These were the guys he sent. They weren't there to accept surrender or take prisoners. All they did was go in, chop everybody up. So if you're following along Project Pre-Heresy, D from Project 1 Gaming and myself, we are going through all of the Pre-Heresy legions, and we are going to build up and paint as well little dioramas for each of them. So while D is building them, I am doing these tutorial videos on my channel, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to eventually paint the models that he sends me. And then when he's done with his build, I'm going to get it in the mail, and then I will show you how I build it on the Project One Gaming's channel. So you can go over there. If you haven't subscribed to Project One Gaming, definitely check it out. Go over there, subscribe, and you can follow all of the diorama builds along with everything else. So now I'm going to take the Fang. This is the paint that we're going to use to build up our Stegodon Scale Green from. So this is much closer to the finished color, but instead of starting with this as a base color, even though it's a base paint, I wanted to go a little bit darker, which is why I started with the Stegodon Scale Green. Another viable option, though, if you didn't want to do that, is you could skip that step and go straight to this, the Fang, but then what you're going to notice is that it's going to be a little bit harder to do some good shading and definition in between the armor plates. And that's kind of like a basic rule for when I paint. I like to start darker and then build the highlights up. Some painters I know like to start bright, like they'll prime their models in white primer, and then they'll start to paint darker and darker colors, and then they'll add shades and stuff. And that's, I think it's to each his own. You know, everybody builds and paints in their own way. This I just found works better for me. And there's really no right and wrong way, right? As long as your model turns out the way you want it to, and that is what is important. So with painting any models, it's good to hold it on something if you're not holding it with your bare hands, like this piece of cork that I'm using with the blue tack, poster tack, holding the model onto it. And that will just allow you to turn it to a bunch of different angles so that you can get underneath, turn it to the side. You're not just looking at the model from above, you're looking at it from a bunch of different angles. I want to make sure you have it just the way you need it to be. Okay. There, that's much closer to the Lexicanum page. We're going to take some Abaddon Black now. I'm going to paint all the black areas. So the black areas are these little vents in the leg armor. In the front, and then here down the back. And you see these vents on any of the artwork for Mark II armor from Forge World in their Betrayal series. Just looking for those vents there. Also going to take some, see if I can find it, Doom Bull Brown. Where is that? I just had it out. Here it is. And this is going to be the handle of the axe down the back. So a little flash of color. And again, the axe is just a purely personal touch. Your Legionnaires might not have anything, but if they do have a weapon that is reminiscent of their days in the gladiatorial ring, or arena, I guess, then I found that wrapping or painting the hand wrappings in the old range it was called dark flesh, but it's this dark ruddy brown kind of color, really makes it pop, looks nice, and it's also coincidentally the color that we're going to use for the insignia of the Warhounds. So we're going to kind of show it off here first. Something you might have noticed too is that I scraped off the eagle insignia on the belt buckle, because if you look at the artwork for the Hounds Legionnaire, you'll see that it is painted with the symbol of the Legion, the Warhound head. Rakarth flesh is going to be used as to paint the skull hanging from his waist here. And while we're letting all these other colors dry just a little bit longer, we're going to color in the gold on the shoulder pads, on the helmet. The color we're going to use is Brass Scorpion. Alright, so we're going to start with I'm going to start with the vents on the backpack. You know, you'll notice that it has a very nice coppery kind of look to it. Real cool. On the helmet next. So this is why we started with Balthazar Gold, because the orange-ish coppery tone of Balthazar Gold under the, well, it was more, Balthazar Gold is more like red. And this Brass Scorpion is a little bit more subdued, but it's very close to the brass look that we want. For example, it's not a bright, shiny, reddish yellow gold, but it's a very almost brownish kind of copper, which is perfect for our brass. I think it's pretty cool that Games Workshop is named one of their paints after a Forge World model as well. It's like using or making color and then naming it Tamurken green, or what's another, like Death Core of Krieg gray. I'm gonna take some Abaddon black now and just paint it back into the eye, the visor, I guess, of the helmet. There we go. And for the lens on the shoulder, we're going to put it in Cabalite green for now, and then just kind of leave it there for a while. Not sure what this is supposed to be, if it's like a camera or a light or whatever, but that's kind of where we'll leave it for now. For the chain sword, it really should be a chain axe, but I didn't have any chain axes and I wanted to get this started. We're going to use lead belcher for the vents here. We did gold for the handguard, as you can see. Then we are going to paint the main casing of it. I was thinking either black or white, and I decided in the end I'm Yeah, I want to make sure that it's the right decision. Let's go with Abaddon Black. You could do either, and if you want, you could even do a color like red or maybe the blue of the armor. It's really up to you. For me though, the reason why I'm painting it black is because I want the person who's looking at this model, I want their eye to be attracted to the paint job and the Forge World pieces on the Marine's body, or the Legionnaire's body, rather than onto... I don't want the chain sword to be a focus, I guess. So there we are for now. Now what we're going to do is the fun part. We are going to take some Drakenhof Nightshade, which is the blue shade. It's the new, I think it was a Sermon Blue, but it's a lot darker. And we are going to paint all of the blue armor pieces. This will further tie in the color of the Marine's armor to the old kind of shadow grayish color scheme. Okay, a little bit more here on the chest. And that will be it. Now we're going to take Nuln Oil. We are going to paint the weapons. We're going to paint the weapons in any metallics, as well as the skulls and the pouches. A little bit on the skull there. Pouches on the metallics here for the shoulder pad. Chains on the backpack. All the silver detailing. Here on the axe. Oh, you can even put it on the leather binding of the axe as well. I think I've mentioned it before, but these shades are some of my most favorite things to paint. They just kind of point it in the direction and they do all the work. As long as you treat them good, don't slap them on in a overly excessive way, and make sure that it flows evenly. The shades are really going to help you achieve a nicely shaded and really cool finish to your models. Right, and that is where we're gonna finish for here. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, part 2. Come back for part 3, where we will start working on individual details. We'll start highlighting, and then, oops, let's see what I mean. We'll start highlighting, and then we will finish off our Hounds Legionnaire. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.